What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. The international break is over, and I had a pretty good international break, actually. Made some money with a couple bets with my predictions. I didn't make any videos because I took the week off to focus on my main channel, but today in this video, it is time for the Week 13 Premier League predictions, and I also want to give a massive shout out to S. Murick, who commented on my Week 12 predictions video after the week had ended, saying, "Brother, I love you. I won $950, and I did have some pretty good Week 12 predictions, including a couple of perfect scores, so I don't know which of my predictions he took from that week, but I was able to make him some money. Of course, please do gamble responsibly, but I'm glad I could help you out. That's, I guess, part of the aim of these videos. You know, we have fun predicting, but if you want to take some tips from it as well, then by all means do so. So before we get into the Week 13 predictions, first of all, drop me one of these if you're excited for this video, and leave your comments down below for the predictions of the Week 13 for a chance to be featured in the next episode of the Premier League predictions. Let's have a little look back at my Week 12 predictions and see how we got on. Now, kicking it off with the week, we started off well. I predicted Watford's first ever away win of the season. I predicted Watford would beat Norwich 2-1. They actually won 2-0, so that was pretty decent there. The next game, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, I predicted a 3-1 win to Chelsea. Got the winning margin correct, but the score slightly wrong. It was a 2-0 win in the end. A not so great prediction coming up after that, Burnley versus West Ham. I predicted a 1-1 draw, and it was actually a 3-0 win to Burnley. West Ham really are in pretty bad form, and West Ham are actually playing Tottenham this week. I was going to predict a West Ham draw at least, but after looking at the form, I don't think I'll be able to do that. Newcastle versus Bournemouth, I predicted a 1-1 draw between the two teams again, and it was actually a 2-1 win to Newcastle, which is a great result for them. Southampton versus Everton, I correctly predicted that Everton would beat Southampton away from home 2-1, so good job from Everton there. The next game, Tottenham versus Sheffield United, I predicted a 2-0 win to Tottenham, and Sheffield got the 1-1 draw, which is yeah, I mean, that's pretty peak times for Tottenham. The next game, Leicester versus Arsenal. I predicted Leicester would win 3-2, and they actually won 2-0. Arsenal did not play great in that game for sure. The next game, Man United versus Brighton. I predicted Man United would win just 1-0, and it was actually a 3-1 win. They did play very well in that first half in that game. The next game, I correctly predicted Wolves to beat Aston Villa 2-1. And then Liverpool, Man City. I had a blip. I thought Man City maybe would get something from Liverpool, but they didn't. And Liverpool won 3-1. I definitely think there was so much controversy in that game, and I think it could have gone Man City's way if the luck sort of went their way before the deadlock was broken. You know what I'm talking about, but either way, I'll take an L on that one. Moving on, we have Week 13. Kicking it off, we do have West Ham versus Tottenham. So not far to travel for the fans of Tottenham Hotspur, but I'm going to go for a Tottenham win in this one. I know Tottenham aren't great away from home. I don't know even if they've picked up an away win yet, really, since January, I believe. But I just think West Ham, there's one or two ways you could look at this. You could think West Ham are in such bad form, it's going to have to turn around. Why not at home against a very shaky, average, performing at least, Tottenham side? And I was thinking about a 1-1 draw, but then I looked again at West Ham's form, and it's not even bad. It's really, really bad. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Tottenham. I don't know if I'm going to regret that. I would stay away from this one. It's an early kickoff. I think maybe if you're going for a bet, at least, I think both teams to score might be a solid shout. I wouldn't go for a result on this one because Tottenham are a little bit suspect. Speaking of both teams to score, I think that's almost a banker in this next game. Arsenal versus Southampton. This actually, the reverse fixture, or when Arsenal travelled to Southampton this time last year, it was a 3-2 win to Southampton, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go for the same result, but this time for the home team, Arsenal. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Arsenal. I think there's going to be goals. I think Southampton, what was it they did last week? Yeah, they lost to Everton at home. They did manage to score, but they lost, which is kind of unfortunate for them. They would have hoped to have done better and got something. I don't think they'll be able to get anything from Arsenal at the Emirates, but I think there's going to be goals, so I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Arsenal in this one. The next game is Bournemouth versus Wolves. Now, as a side overall, I would say Wolves are better and more rounded, more complete than Bournemouth. But this is at Bournemouth's ground. It's a smaller ground, and I think it's going to be a little bit tough for Wolves to go there. And this year, Wolves have been somewhat of a draw specialist, so I'm going to go for that result again. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Bournemouth and Wolves in this one. The next one is Brighton versus Leicester. Now, last year, this to me has a nailed-on 2-0 scoreline to Leicester. And Leicester are still playing very, very well this season, but Brighton are also playing decent this season, so I think they are going to get a goal. I think they're capable of that, and I've just realised, actually, I've predicted the same scoreline for this week for Brighton that happened to them last week against Manchester United. I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to Leicester to keep Leicester above Manchester City and Chelsea, in fact, in the Premier League. And this is a big week for Leicester as well, because if they can get a win, they'll be above Man City and Chelsea, and it's likely that either Man City or Chelsea, or maybe both, will drop points this week as they're playing each other as well. So Leicester could cement themselves into second place quite nicely here at this point. The next game is Crystal Palace up against Liverpool, and I think this is going to be another week where Liverpool gets a clinical win. I don't think it's going to be fireworks. I don't think it's going to be, Liverpool in the end, 3-1 Man City. That's a fantastic scoreline. It seems fairly comfortable. I think this is going to be a bit different. Crystal Palace obviously being the last team to beat Liverpool at Anfield, I believe, 2-1, thanks to Christian Benteke back in April 2017. I think Roy Hodgson is going to make it difficult. He's going to try and not concede in the first half an hour, basically. If Liverpool do break through that, I think it'll be an easy enough win. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to Liverpool in this one. Again, something just tells me Crystal Palace will be able to score, because Liverpool at the back haven't been as solid this year. They've just been overpowering people up front. So I think Liverpool and both teams to score looks kind of juicy, but I wouldn't say that's a banker in any way, shape or form. But 2-1 to Liverpool is my prediction for this one. Now the next one, a result that I'm fairly confident with, Everton up against Norwich. Everton slowly starting to turn the corner. Getting that away win against Southampton was crucial. If I look back to the week before in week 11, what was Everton's result in that week? They drew 1-1 with Tottenham, and arguably they should have got more from that. So Everton, they're on the way back up, which I said at the beginning of the season. I said they come into the season usually about halfway, January sort of time. And they did it last year. From January onwards, they were one of the best performing teams in the league. They beat United 4-0. I'm pretty sure they got a good result against Tottenham. So yeah, Everton, they always seem to bounce back. Whenever Marco Silva looks in trouble, they bounce back. And I'm going to go for a comfortable enough 2-0 win to Everton. I just think Everton at home, as a favourite team, 2-0 is just always a solid scoreline to go. If not, 3-1, but I don't see Norwich scoring, so I don't think Everton will actually score a third. It sounds weird, but I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Everton in this one. The next game is Watford up against Burnley. Watford finally getting their first win of the campaign on the road last week, or the last game week against Norwich. And Burnley dispatching of West Ham away from home. And I think this game is going to be kind of similar to the Burnley-Chelsea game, but a little bit more evenly matched. Obviously, Chelsea beat Burnley 4-2. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this fixture. I think if Burnley were at home, it'd be maybe a 2 or 3-1 win to Burnley, given that Burnley are in really good form and just in the habit of scoring goals. Quite a lot of goals, which is quite unlike Burnley. And Watford haven't, although they won last week, they're not in the habit of winning yet. And momentum does take you a very long way. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw here, because Watford do have quality. They really do. It's been a weird one. I wouldn't say Watford, I still think, I get the feeling they won't get relegated. I don't know who's going to replace them, but I think over the course of the season, they should be able to stay up. But the next game is the main event. It's Manchester City up against Chelsea, and this one's going to be a very, very close game. I'll be watching this one with my dad, because he is, of course, a Chelsea fan. And this is an interesting one. Manchester City, they do have injury problems, and it should be a very, very close game. I think it being at the Etihad helps, because they're the likes of Aguero, he loves playing at the Etihad, and I just think Man City are going to win, but... Hello? Oh, you don't? My dad doesn't. My dad, he supports Chelsea, so... but I just feel like it's going to be close. So I think I would say probably... I don't know. What do you think the score's going to be, Dad? 1-1. My dad says 1-1, so take with that what you will. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So the similarities between the two, my dad says 1-1. He is a Chelsea fan. I'm saying 2-1 to Manchester City, but it wouldn't surprise me. It'd be kind of cool and good for the league in a way. I know Chelsea are already above Man City, but imagine Chelsea get the win, and you feel like this Chelsea team is exciting enough of a team to just to do that. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Manchester City. I know their squad is weaker, a bit more depleted than it has been, but they do have a lot of squad depth. They are at the Etihad, but Chelsea play very, very exciting football. And this is going to be a great game to watch, I think. I think both teams will score, because Man City at the back are questionable, but going forward at the Etihad, they just will score. I know they didn't against Wolves when they lost 2-0 thanks to Adama Traore, but I just think Man City are going to score, obviously. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Manchester City in this one. The next game, a very, very important game, is Sheffield United up against Manchester United. And Man United, they're playing better. They're playing better football, they are. And I assume Pogba he might be back from injury. I think he got the cast off. I think it was an ankle injury possibly, and he will be back in training by now. He's had the international break to recover, but Sheffield United are still defensively one of the most solid teams in the league, and they always tend to score at least that one goal. So with that being said, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this fixture, which it wouldn't be a bad result for either team, but it'd be kind of frustrating for both teams as well. Sheffield United fans would feel like, with the way they're playing, the way they've been set up, they can smash and grab a win at home against someone like Manchester United, but Man United as well, they have got a very solid defence too. So I think it's going to be low scoring, 1-1 draw in this one. And the final game is Aston Villa up against Newcastle. I'm going to go for a home win in this one. I think Aston Villa will have enough to beat Newcastle. Newcastle have been playing okay. Aston Villa have been playing okay as well. But I'm going to go for an Aston Villa 2-1 win in this fixture. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, as I said at the beginning, please do leave a like on it. Leave your comments down below with your predictions for this week. It's a very interesting one with very interesting fixtures and matchups. I'm very excited for the Premier League to be back, and soon on the channel in a few days I will have my Champions League predictions video. It's all coming back. December, the run-ins, the fixtures is unreal, so there's going to be a lot more videos, hopefully, if I can get it all sorted for the full 90. So yes, that's going to do it for this video, and I will see you in the next one very soon.